And you don't know if I live here or if this is my property.
We actually do know. That's why we're asking.
Oh, really?
Hi, it's Judy, and thank you for joining me with another episode of Still Growing. Within the last few weeks of Black Lives Matter protests, it appears everyone is out protesting. White, black, and everyone in between. You may wonder, if everyone is protesting, then who is the racist? While not all white people are racist, these three white women have certainly provided a perfect example, being able to capture it on camera so that people can talk about it, hopefully learn from it. Who exactly is racist and is the ones that's stopping the development and progress of Black people and other minorities? Time of the KKK, the white guy under the sheet, is long gone. These are the professional, these are the beautiful women, as you can see, and nice white smiling faces. The people who look like they're ready to help you. They're all about development, but not development for anyone but themselves. They all have well-established careers and are highly privileged. So first we have Lisa Alexandros, the CEO of LAFACE Skincare. We also have Amy Cooper, an investment banker, Jessica MULRONEY, a fashion stylist and TV personality. With regards to Lisa Alexandra from LaFace Skincare, here's the incident. So we have James Juano, who is a Filipino. This man is going about his business, doing his own thing, trying to support Black Lives Matter because it's important to him. He's a minority and he's experienced racism in different ways. It's important that he shows his support. So he decides to write on his property, Black Lives Matter, in chalk. And of course, what do you think? Here comes the protector of whiteness in society. Here comes, well, anyways, let's have a look for yourself.
I'm asking you if this is your property.
Why are you asking?
Because it's private property.
Because it's private property,
So,
sir.
are you defacing private property or is this your building? You're free to express your
No,
opinions,
we
but not on people's property.
Okay,
absolutely.
Sure.
Just respectfully.
sure.
So we're just saying it's private property.
Now, as you can see, while she's talking, she's got a nice smile on her face, standing back, like she's definitely don't want to hurt anyone. She definitely don't want to make it seem as if she's being prejudiced in any way. And then you see her husband in the background lurking as if, oh, well, you know, no macho power here. I'm not about to confront you and do anything because this is all in love.
But if I did live here and it was my property, this would be absolutely fine. And you don't know if I live here or if this is my property.
We actually do know. That's why we're asking.
Oh, really? Because you live here, right? You
No,
said so.
because we know the person who does live here.
Oh, because you're accusing me of a crime, correct?
What I'm asking you is why are you...
And I'm
doing
not
this?
answering you.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So your choices are to call the cops if you believe I'm calling a crime, and I will more than be happy to talk to him.
Okay, thank you.
What's your name again?
I'm Lisa.
Lisa, what's your last name?
What is your name?
What's your name? I asked
I'm
first,
not
Lisa.
committing a crime,
What's your name,
sir.
sir? What's your last name, sir?
What is your first name, sir?
I'm not answering. I'm not talking to you. You're talking to me. I'm asking you the questions.
Well, we're not doing anything illegal.
Neither am I.
Actually,
you
you
are
are.
actually.
Because it's
Really?
private property.
Oh, okay. Well, then call the cops.
Thank you. We will do so.
Lisa and Robert.
Yeah.
As you can see, her hand is over her heart, right? So it's as if she actually has a heart. Or maybe she was searching for it to see exactly where it was. Now, first of all, how does she know it's private property? You see how she chooses her words carefully? He's defacing private property. So now she's making it legal, right? She's saying he's defacing private property because defacing someone else's property is against the law, right? So he's committing a crime. And she's smart enough to see the words are written down in chalk, so it's washable, right? So he's not defacing, even if it was somebody else's property, he's not defacing it because it's easily washed away or wipe away with water. Second, she's assuming that it's private property, it's not his property, because of course, how could it possibly be his property? He's a Filipino. He's a minority. There's no way he could afford property in her neighborhood. And then she bluntly lies while she's still smiling and she's still showing how nice, loving, calming, supporting, wonderful person that she is. We know the person who lives here. So she knows exactly who lives here. A blunt lie. That's exactly what they are, these racists. They're liars and have always lied in order to get their way. It's definitely not possible that he could live in that house. It could only be if he was there to perhaps cut her grass or clean her pool. That's only the reason why he would possibly be there. So she can speak from her knowledge. She can speak, and then she proceeds to say she's going to call the police. Now, this is exactly what the racists do, right? They know that if they call the police, it's a matter of basically them saying to you, I am going to hurt you, I am going to harm you, I am going to possibly kill you, but I'm going to do something to you so that you will understand to jump when I say jump. Because she knows that by calling the police, even if it's his property, there's a possibility that the cop that comes out will be a hothead and, might even beat him up without finding out who he is, or kill him without asking a question, or shoot him and then turn around and say, well, he had a weapon in his hand. She knows that by calling the police, there's a possibility that this man will die. And that's okay with her because she has the right to do whatever she wants. She's superior and she's important and no one else is important. Then we have Jessica Mulroney. Jessica is a Canadian fashion stylist and marketing consultant. She's a television personality. She's worked on Good Morning America and Cityline, and she's also a contributor to Wedding Vacation magazine. Now, Jessica is not just the run-of-the-mill white girl. She is married to Ben Mulroney, who is the son of the former Prime Minister of Canada, Brian Mulroney. So she's coming from wealth, she's coming from social mobility, and she's coming from a privileged life. So the incident here is that you have influencer Sasha Exer. She's a Black Toronto-based influencer, a blogger, and she's also a single mother. So she took to her Instagram to just send out a call to action among the Black Lives Matter movement, just to ask people to get involved, all of her followers, her friends, what have you. But of course, we have the fashion police, Jessica. She feels that the call for action focusing towards her because, of course, everything is about them, right? It couldn't be relating to the thousands of followers that Sasha has. It has to be for her. She gets upset.
So I'm going to start by saying this. Very early on in this, I was very vocal about wanting my peers and folks with an online presence to speak up, stand up, and use their voice for good to help combat what's going on with this race war and what's happening to the Black community. Unfortunately, though, one very prominent Canadian figure who used to be an acquaintance of mine named Jessica Mulroney took offense to a very generic call to action that I shared on my IG stories. And what happened next was a series of very problematic behavior and antics that ultimately resulted in her sending me a threat in writing. She is very well aware of her wealth, her perceived power, and privilege because of the color of her skin. And that, my friends, gave her the momentary confidence to come for my livelihood in writing. Textbook white privilege, really, in my personal opinion. So you're probably wondering how this whole thing started, and to be honest, the story is quite convoluted, But there are two main issues here of concern. Number one, Jessica never wanted to stand up and use her voice in the first place and didn't understand why she needed to. This I found quite strange, seeing that she is very vocal about supporting many causes and very open about everything else. So how could she not be speaking up about this issue that's affecting everyone in the world? Also, her best friend is arguably one of the most famous Black women in the world. Number two, I believe that she wrongly assumed that my generic call to action on my Instagram stories was a direct and blatant call out to her. Maybe this is possibly showing her guilt for her lack of action, and because of that, she began to lash out at me. During the span of about a week or so, Jessica basically ticked every single box of what a white woman should absolutely not do during the biggest racial uproar in history, citing that this really wasn't a problem that she wanted to share on her social channels, excuses that she would be bullied or vilified by the public and the media if she did so, claimed her show was more important to promote because it was going into, I believe, the season finale, and because after all, this is her job, and get this, they matter too. She tried to use my one piece of sponsored content as her get out of jail free card, because I think she felt that it put us on the same playing field after she spent the first entire week of this crisis promoting her TV show with like no mention of showing support or solidarity, like at all. But that wasn't enough. She made herself the victim, and of course me the villain. A story mysteriously popped up in the Daily Mail UK, a British tabloid, last Tuesday, which would be June the 2nd. I was blocked from her Instagram account that same day, and a trail of offensive messages to me that ended in her saying, and I quote, "I have also spoken to companies and people about the way you've treated me unfairly. You think your voice matters. Well, it only matters if you express it with kindness and without shaming people who are simply trying to learn. Good luck." Now,
This is a two-part series, so please continue on the second video, and remember to comment, subscribe, and share.